It is called, you know, it is divorce month. We can't get away from it. It is the time when lots of people are thinking about splitting up. Interestingly, depending on where you are in the UK, the rules are different, aren't they, on what you can do?
They are indeed. So in England, you've got to have been married for a minimum of 12 months, 1 year. That's England and Wales. And your relationship has to have irretrievably broken down. In Northern Ireland, it's 2 years. And in Scotland, the rules are quite complex. There are actually 2 types of divorce. Depends on your residency and proving that your relationship has broken down. If you are in Scotland, if you consult Citizens' Advice in Scotland, they're a brilliant resource. What I would say is, dependent where you are in the UK, the rules are slightly different, but the constructive advice I'm going to give you and the practicalities will apply wherever you are.
Yeah. So first question then, what if you've got a couple, one of them wants to get divorced, the other one doesn't? Can the person who doesn't stop it from happening? OK,
well, sadly, it takes... it takes 2 happily to get married, but it takes 1, sadly, to opt out of the marriage. So if one party wants the divorce, say, for example, you've been served with a divorce petition, it's really difficult, certainly in England and Wales, to defend that. The reality is if you've been served with a divorce petition, you are about to get divorced. You can tick the box, again, in England and Wales, consult locally where you are as to what will apply. But in England and Wales, you can tick the box to say that you wish to defend the divorce in theory. But the reality is it's very difficult to do, it's costly, it's stressful, and it's going to cause you a lot of heartache when the end result may just be that the divorce is inevitable. It takes a very, very brave judge, and it's very, very rare to keep 2 people married when one of them wants to get out.
Yeah. And then what about when you're going through this divorce process, you have to give a reason, don't you, as to why you want to get divorced. One of the options is unreasonable behaviour. So what if your partner who puts something on there like unreasonable behaviour and you don't think you've been unreasonable?
OK. There's 5 grounds to divorce. The one that you're talking about is unreasonable behaviour. And that's the one that seems to rile parties the most, apart from adultery. That's a whole different story. Unreasonable behaviour, and the reason for that is you've got to give 3 to 5 reasons why the relationship has broken down due to unreasonable behaviour. And it's those allegations that when they land on the door and you open that petition and you read it, really, really wind one of the parties up. Now, if you don't agree with the allegations, in theory, you probably agree with the divorce. You've got no issue to getting divorced, but you're not happy with what's being said about you. If you disagree with the allegations, there is, again, on the form in England and Wales, a box that you can tick to say that although you agree to the divorce, you don't agree to the allegations, and it's really important that you do that. It won't really affect the financial split very much, but certainly if there are proceedings in relation to the children, for example, if the allegation of violence has been made against you, tick the box to say that you don't agree with the allegations. You agree the divorce, you don't agree the allegations. One thing that is comforting, as difficult as it is to see those allegations there in black and white, there's only you, your partner, your partner's lawyers, and possibly a judge that will see the actual divorce petition itself.
Yeah. So what if you're the person who wants to get divorced? What's your first steps you should take?
OK, well, first of all, it's communication. Speak to your other half about the fact that you want to get divorced. You know, we've had clients who come to us and say, I want to get divorced. Well, have you had that conversation? No. The first time they find out that you intend to get divorced, if it's via a solicitor, it's not great. So try and have communication. Obviously, if there are domestic violence issues, that's, again, a different scenario altogether. But in most instances, thankfully, you can communicate the fact that you want to get divorced with your other partner, have that conversation, and then start thinking practically how you are going to lead separate lives, not only emotionally, but I'm talking more about financially. So when you are splitting up, you are leading separate financial lives. So if, for example, you're renting a property, you want to get your name off the tenancy. If you own the property together, if you're on the mortgage, you want to try and get your name off the mortgage. It's probably not easy to do, but in theory, that's what you want to aim to do. Remember, even if you leave the marital home, you're still going to be responsible for mortgage payments. Same with household bills. If your name's on the bill, then you will still be responsible for it, but contact the providers. Joint bank account is a really important one. If you've got a joint bank account, don't just go and drain the account. That will be frowned upon by any judge looking at the financial steps that either party took. Have that conversation with your other half, right? This is the amount in the joint bank account. How are we going to split it, and do that fairly? If you need the money, take 50% of it. Again, every situation is different, and I do feel I need to give a caveat there. Every situation is different, but just try and be fair when you are accessing any joint finances.
Yeah, Ayesha, thank you so much. Great advice
Thank you.
as ever.